Let's take a look at ADF's case Medina versus Planned Parenthood South Atlantic, one of the most important cases being heard at the U.S. Supreme Court this term. South Carolina law prevents the use of taxpayer dollars to pay for abortions, and funneling taxpayer money to abortion facilities for any purpose indirectly funds abortions. Because of this, South Carolina deemed abortion facilities, including Planned Parenthood, unqualified to receive Medicaid funding. That change means freeing up money to go to any of the nearly 200 publicly funded healthcare clinics in South Carolina that provide a broad range of high-quality healthcare services, including family planning services. Planned Parenthood's 2 South Carolina locations offer only extremely limited services, mostly abortion and gender transition drugs. But Planned Parenthood sued South Carolina to force its taxpayers to fund its ideologically driven business. Alliance Defending Freedom is proud to represent South Carolina to ensure that those tax dollars fund health, not harm. Why is South Carolina adamant about preventing Planned Parenthood from accessing healthcare funding? It's simple. Planned Parenthood is not a healthcare provider. To understand the kinds of services Planned Parenthood provides, you can start with a recent New York Times article, which exposed the organization's rampant harm to women, poorly trained staff, toxic culture, and filthy facilities that have come to define it. In Nebraska, sewage from a backed-up toilet seeped into the abortion recovery room for 2 days. Patients vomited from the stench. Another patient had an IUD inserted by a clinician who didn't know the patient was 4 months pregnant. Hours later, she was rushed to the ER and gave birth to a stillborn baby. Another woman was told by a New York Planned Parenthood that her abortion had been completed, but she experienced heavy bleeding and painful cramps for weeks. 3 months later, she went into labor and delivered a baby who quickly died. Planned Parenthood has also become the second largest distributor of dangerous gender transition drugs in the U.S., including giving them to minors across the country. It's been caught negotiating the sale of body parts from aborted babies, covering up the sexual abuse of young girls, and it's being investigated for waste, abuse, and fraud, totaling up to tens of millions of dollars. And Planned Parenthood is rolling in government funding. Between 2018 and 2023, Planned Parenthood received $3.2 billion in direct public funding. Each year, it receives hundreds of millions more from private donors, and it has experienced a fundraising boom since 2022, amassing over $2.5 billion in net assets. And according to the New York Times, over the last 5 years, the National Planned Parenthood Office has distributed almost $900 million to affiliates to help them deliver care, but none of it went directly to medical services. South Carolina is doing its part to make sure taxpayers like you aren't forced to fund shoddy abortion facilities. Planned Parenthood doesn't need American taxpayer dollars, and Americans don't need Planned Parenthood.